Hello, 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 ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the beautiful city of Miami, where the excitement is in the air as we prepare for the ultimate high-speed showdown here in Moose Racing League's Tier 1. Today's race is set to take place on the brand new Miami F1 circuit, where the league's top drivers are gearing up to battle it out for glory. With stunning views of the city skyline and challenging hairpin turns, this circuit is sure to test the skill and nerve of every driver on the grid. So buckle up, sit tight, and get ready for the ride of your life. This is the Miami League race here at Moose Racing League, round 4. We're going to have a blast. It's about to begin. As you guys know, my name is Punju. I'm so excited to be here. So sorry for that little delay. Had a slight technical difficulties, but we're in it right now. Just forgot a crucial step with YouTube streaming, but we pretend like that didn't happen. Now, obviously, you guys all know me, but I think what's more important to know about is the track we're going to tonight. It is the Miami circuit with 19 turns, 3.36 miles, or 5.4 kilometers for you across the ponders. 3 DRS zones make up this insanely quick track. If you guys watched our hot lap review that came out earlier today on the shorts, you can see that the speeds that people reach on this track are just absolutely unreal, especially depending on your setup. Now, speaking of setups, a lot of people used to use a meta of a 0-0 wing or extremely low downforce, but I personally expect the drivers here tonight to have a little bit more downforce in their cars than those. Speaking of the drivers tonight, let's go ahead and take a look at our race notes for the night. Alan Toast is the only person in Tier 1 to have ever won a race here for Moose Racing League. Now, of course, we've only had one race here before, but that is obviously, you know, the stat. Now, as we mentioned, a high chance of rain both in quali and the race. Santiago Robles, Mr. Robles, lets us know that we have a wet race tonight, which is super, super exciting. So, like I said, there is a high chance of rain both in quali and the race. It's gonna make the strategy so interesting tonight. And this track is especially difficult in the wet because it's so flat. There's really not a lot of camber to help you out. Now, the top 4 of this championship right now in Tier 1 are literally separated by 2 points. That is the closest margin in MRL history going into round 4 of a championship. Unreal how tight this Tier 1 grid is. It always gets tighter and tighter every single season, and it's really cool to see that nobody can really run away with this one. But those that obviously want to take a shot at running away with it are those 3 at the bottom of this list. It's Sketchy Bull, Santiago, and Giants Fan. Sketchy Bull obviously has had probably the best start to any season he's ever had in Moose Racing League. Santiago, on the other hand, is relatively new to Moose Racing League. He just recently got picked up as an Aston Martin full-time driver, and he's looking to go, you know, make a name for himself. Last week, he had a really, really good qualifying session, but the race just didn't go his way in Hungary. So I'm sure he's looking to redeem himself. And then obviously Giants Fan. You can never count out Giants Fan. He's won a championship with us before for many reasons, but obviously he's just so consistent, and I'm sure he's going to be out there, you know, gunning for it, trying to do his best. Now, let's go ahead and get into the race here tonight. Obviously, let's take a look at our calendar. We are in round 4, like I mentioned to you guys. Next week, we're going to be in Portugal. The week after, we will be in Imola, and then we'll take a week break, the 30th-ish, or 28th, I want to say, of May, to then come back to Spain for June 4th, Japan, June 11th, Canada, June 18th, and, of course, the season finale at Abu Dhabi, June 25th. Oops, sorry, just kidding. Japan and Abu Dhabi got switched. I forgot. We got rid of this calendar. Whoopsie-daisy. So now Japan is no longer there. Abu Dhabi is switched out for Japan, and Canada is now the season finale. Taking a look at our standings, we've got Estenbach currently sitting on top after last week's win. Now, that result made this margin as tight as it is. Notice how Estenbach, Giants Fan, dead tied on points. Sketchy Bull sits in 3rd, 1 point away from them, and 4th is Bops, which is crazy. He's still hanging out in the top 4 after that win from the first race. He got 5 points there, or 25 points there, and he's only gotten 6 points in the subsequent 2 rounds after that. So Bops is in the hot seat right now, just trying to hold on for dear life, of course. Now, right behind him, it's Zeech, Sebi, Gary, Snowman, Braided Axe, and Xylo, which then lets the Mercedes team lead the championship in Tier 1 right now. They're doing a great job. Esteban and Zeech both pulling weight. Sketchy Bull and Yellow Snowman also both pulling weight, in my opinion, in the Ferrari garage. But the Williams garage is pretty heavily being carried by Bops, with Braided Axe also kind of up there with 15 points. McLaren, though, somehow holding down 4th place because of some reserve drives that have really helped them out. But it's reached Sebi and Alan Toast now in the fight. Wylad is no longer racing with us. Outside of that, it's Haas, then Red Bull, then Alfa Romeo, Alpha Tauri, Alpine, and Aston Martin make up the bottom slot. I'm sure Aston Martin's looking to change that tonight. Take a look at our race results last week. Remember, Esteban did get that win, and that second place did go to a bit of a shocker, if you ask me. Not really, actually. It's Giants fan. Third place went to Zylo, which is how he really ranked himself up the standings right there since last week. And then outside of that, you know, it's just kind of business as they wrote. There was quite a few DNFs last week. If we're taking a look at our full team standings before we get into the thick of qualifying, Mercedes still sitting on top after last week, moving up a position and dropping Ferrari down to second. Red Bull moved up some positions, up into third, but they're really fighting it with Haas, Alfa Romeo, McLaren. All four of those teams are separated by just 12 team points. That's very, very tight here in Moose Racing League. Outside of those, it's Aston Martin sits in 7th, Williams in 8th, Alpha Tauri in 9th, and Alpine, unfortunately, rounding out the back with a very small points grab so far this season, only sitting at 39. Now it's time for us to really get into the thick of this qualifying session, as we've already had a few people go out and set some laps. Zylo currently sitting on provisional pole at a 26.599. You know, I would be surprised and like blown away because like that's a really good lap, don't get me wrong. But I'm not at all surprised to how fast it is. What I am surprised is that Giants fan Alan Toast, second to third, is as big as it is. It's 0.6 of a second. That's a big gap for a Tier 1 qualifying session. So, you know, we'll see how this keeps shaking out. Right now, we got 19 drivers in this session. Obviously, that will be the final total driver list for the night. Missing one, unfortunately, obviously the Miami Grand Prix this weekend kind of messed up a lot of people's schedules, I'm sure. So we are missing a little bit. Minico, though, currently sitting in 5th on mediums. So Minico's looking good. But he is a whole second off of pole position right now with that medium lap. So he's got a lot of work to do. Almost a full second, about 9/10 of a second, excuse me. If I was a betting man, I would put my money on a pole position likely to be this guy, Santiago Robles. I keep saying Robles. I know it's Robles. Santiago. Otherwise known as Sanchez, Cheese, many, many names. He is consistently somebody that I will be looking at for a potential pole position. Obviously, I hyped him up a lot last week. And he delivered for sure by getting pole position last week. But unfortunately, the race just did not quite connect for him. So let's see if he can do a little bit better during the race session this time around. And make something out of that insane qualifying pace that he does have. Now, obviously, Esteban coming hot off of a win. Probably feeling pretty good about himself. He's going to try to get out of the way of everybody. Let them all go through. There's a bit of traffic, though, right behind him. So, luckily enough, everybody's on outlaps. But this guy, Santiago Robles, not about to be on an outlap any longer. He's about to go after it. Like I mentioned, guys, the 19 corners right here. We're going around turn 17. That's that hairpin at the end of the straight. 18 is the slight left-hander, and then 19 is the final corner into the start-finish line. And he's off in his hot lap. Santiago Robles, his first lap here around Miami. Turns 1, 2, and 3. It looks so calm and smooth for him. 3, a very wide right-hander. You can go almost flat out, especially if you get a good turn in. This is a really hard section right here. These S's in the middle of the Sector 1, turns 4, 5, and 6 right here. This is where it really gets challenging. Where do you brake for turn 7 right there? He looks like he took a really good line into turn 7. A little bit tighter than what I usually see people do. But at a 29.8 Sector 1 time, that is ridiculously quick. I was seeing mostly 30s in Tier 1. In Tier 3, some 31s even. So he is really flying on this opening hot lap of his. His banker looking to take them all to the bank, of course. Goes a little bit wide right there going into 12. So he can get a faster exit is what it looks like. Cuts all the way over the first curb, mostly over the second curb. Great line through that section. It's a very slow moment under the bridge at the end of Sector 2. Comes out of turn 16 onto the back straight, and he is hard on power. Looking like he's probably going to reach a max speed of about 210 miles an hour, depending on this setup. Nope, he won't. So he's running a slightly higher downforce setup than what I usually see. Only hits 205 miles an hour. I say only, that's still ridiculously quick, but compared to some speeds that I see here. I've seen up to 220 on that back straight before. But Santiago puts down his 27.356. And that's still pretty far off the time that Xylo and Giants fan have been able to put down. They are currently looking like they are in a league of their own. Wow. Iron Boogs says he's voting for Toast for the win tonight. Let's see if Iron Boogs ends up being right. We shall find out, shan't we? Alan Toast has told me, since his return back into the season after taking the first few races off, he was planning on being a reserve for the whole season, but obviously with McLaren losing a driver, he decided to make a step up and jump in. And he's been doing a good job so far. His first race back into the garage was pretty good. Oh, invalidates right there. Under the bridge. He's got his teammate, Mr. Rich Sebi, right behind him. He wants to give him a draft. Nah, he decides to just get out of his way. So, Sebi, on a hot one. Up a 10th on his best time right now. Coming out of 7.2, but that's only good enough for 27.5 as of right now, which will barely put him in the top 10. Barely. Rich Sebi hard braking into the final corners. Looks good coming out of turn 17. He's flying some low, 27.4, 2 tenths better than his best, but it's only good enough for 10th. 27.4 is still not quite impressive enough to get any sort of challenge up to the very top echelon of this tier. These guys are crazy, man. It's unreal to see how fast they really are. Unreal. Jack says, "Where is my love?" You know, that is about the most pick-me thing I've ever seen in my chat before. I love it. Jack wants a shout-out, so here's my shout-out, Jack. Jack Ledford finally serving his final quali ban of the season for now. Of course, he might end up finding a way to collect another one later in the season. The season is still young. We're only on round 4 or 9, so you never know, but this will be the last quali ban that Jack Ledford has to serve until he gets to go racing more frequently in the early parts of his race session. Which Sebi about to go put it back in the pits. Be done. Iron Boogs asks, what was your quality time? I'm not sure if he's talking to me or somebody else, but if he's talking to me, it doesn't really matter, because what matters is all these people that are in the race session right now and their quality times right now. Sketchybull is scratching at the top. Xylo Giantsman, Sketchybull currently holding down the top 3. Sketchybull at a 26.880. Quick time. Very quick time. Very, very quick time. I think there's more to give for Sketchybull for sure, but I'm not sure if this is his second or third lap. So all these drivers do have to be relatively conscientious of setting a third potential lap. You know, I'm not sure if they're going to want to do that. And use a third set of softs. So we'll see. We shall see. My personal quality time here was a 27.9. I want to say. I want to say 27.9. But one thing I did do a little bit better than Iron Boogs was finish the race. I actually won it. A little jab. No, more importantly, much more on the serious note. Jack puts out a really good point. One super underrated driver, Sketchybull. You know, I think that Sketchybull is kind of pulling himself out of that underrated area and getting properly rated these days. I think he's really earned a lot of respect in Tier 1 from some of the results he's been able to put down. He's just been so consistent this season, especially. It's been awesome to see how good he's been doing. How well, he's been doing. Xylo, no, not lap. Now let's see what Xylo's going to be able to do when he goes and lets the track go hot. That is true, says Santiago. The softs do degrade very quickly. However, with that being said, you never know if you get that, late safety car. It's really nice to have a set of softs just as a potentiality. But I do not expect to see anybody even start on the softs or even add it into their theoretical strategy, assuming no safety cars or anything goes wrong. I don't expect to see a single soft tire touch the track during the race session. Now, obviously, during qualifying, that is a completely different story. It's only softs, as we see, except for Minico, who decided to do a little bit of an ego run, throw down that time he has right now, 27.460 on the mediums. Qualifying times right now are very tight. Xylo holding down the top spot, but only just over Giants fan by about 0.02 of a second. Sketchable outside of that by about 1.5 tenths. Or sorry, 2.5 tenths. And then it gets really tight. Esteban to 4th. Snowman a 10th back from that. Toast a 10th back from that. Santiago 100th back from that. Zeech half a 10th back from that. Minico half a 10th back from that. Sebi 2/10ths to be back from that. And then it's about a 10th to Bops, a 10th to Braided, a 10th to Blank, a 10th to 2/10ths to Stag. Identical times for Com and Gary, 2.88s. And then Speedy Goose and King Kirk running out the back, 2 that are able to qualify. So let's see how that goes. Xylo right now on a hot lap. One's hot, decided to back out. You can see he's holding up a Red Bull though, who is on the out lap, luckily enough. Xylo was going to set a hot lap right there, decided to back out of it. He'll have plenty of time to set another hot lap though. No worries for him. So he'll only get one more shot at this though. So be careful. I don't know if that time is safe, you know, which is crazy for me to say that. But I don't know if that time is safe. The 26.599 is an insane time. But the thing is, these drivers are all insane, you know? Oh, Giants fan having a little bit of a snapper coming out of 2. I wonder how far down his time now he is. Slight graze the wall on his way into 5. Sorry, his way into 4. Left, right, left. Hard on the steering. Goes really wide into all that exit curb he possibly can on his way out of 7 and 8. And he is down his time 1.5 tenths, 1.8 tenths. So I don't think this is going to be a good lap for a Giants fan right here, unless he can really pull it out of the bag in sectors 2 and 3. I don't expect this to be a hot one. Santiago Robles getting ready for a hot lap as well, so he's one that we're definitely going to want to watch. On top of that, Minico, of course, has been cursed by my luck. So let's see if Minico can have a better lucky session right now. Let's go ahead and follow along on Minico, see how he does in this qualifying session. Actually, just kidding. I'm going to follow along on Santiago because Minico would be mad at me if I was looking. And Santiago, as I go to his camera, is a big take slapper coming out of 3. Whoa, huge grab from Santiago Robles, but that was almost a quali ender right there for Santiago. Can he still improve after such a huge mistake? I'm not sure. This is his only shot to do it right now. He's 4 tenths away from his best. There's no way he improves. So now down to the other Aston Martin, who is coming around that second 1 marker. 5 tenths up in his best time. I'm going to get off of that view. And we're going to see if Minico can just do it on merit without me looking at it. Yellow Snowman coming around the end of sector 1 right now, out of turn 7, 8. And he's 2 tenths up in his best time. Right now, we'll put him at a 27.0 flat. Not good enough for anything better than 4th. Now, that's obviously just the end of sector 1. He's still got sector 2 and 3 to improve. What can he do? Yellow Snowman trying to put the pedal to the metal right now. 2/100ths of a second down from Braided Axe's current competitor. Yellow Snowman and Sketchable have a habit of being right next to each other at the end of qualifying. They've done it more times than I can count with anybody. And Yellow Snowman will not be able to get that done as he invalidates coming under the bridge. Yellow Snowman out of qualifying right here. Best time he will have on the board is a 27.221. He's done. Braided Axe off. Esteban off. Sketchable on. Sketchable burning all that energy he's got. Tries to get perfect braking into turn 17. Really nice acceleration. A little bit of twitching, but nothing too much. Sketchable might be able to challenge for pole right here. I think he just went, just off at a 26.880. Still the best he could do. He did a 26.9 that lap right there. Sketchable not able to improve. Giants fan off. He is not on a lap right here. He is done. Is this all we've got? Calm. Not going to be able to set it. That's qualifying, everybody. Wow, nobody could touch that banker from Xylo at a 26.599. I thought it wasn't safe, but it ends up it was. Giants fan sits in second. Minico to 3rd. What a lap from Minico after I turned away from him. He did an amazing job. 4th to Sketchable. 5th to Esteban. 6th to Braden. 7th to Snowman. 8th to Toast. 9th to Santiago. And 10th to Mr. Zeech. Identical times on the grid. There's a few of them that are basically that much, and 2 that are actually that much. Com and Gary, identical times. Sebi and Goose, identical times. Literally identical. And then Zeech and Santiago, just 2/1000ths of a second off of each other. Some very tight gaps here in qualifying. So in the race, anything at all could happen. up to get a little bit of blood flowing in my veins and get super excited for this race like you guys all should be super stoked for this race. We got Xylo on pole, starting in the front. Giants fan in second. Minico in third. Sketchybull in fourth. Estembot in fifth. Braided Axe in sixth. Yellowstone in seventh. Toast in eighth. Santiago in ninth. And Zeech in 10th. Great qualifying from the top 10 and from the other 9 here racing tonight. Technically only 8 more qualified as Jack Ledford was forced to stay in the pits and serve his final quali ban of the first 4 rounds. Let's see what these drivers can do. 19 thousandths of a second separate P1 and P2. The gap is razor thin at the top of this grid. And the wet race is here like was predicted by some wonderful people in chat. They let me know. With a wet race means everything that you could have ever thought about how this race is going to go out the window. The great equalizer of rain is here. Now, it is known as the great equalizer because it balances out performance of cars that perform very differently. However, it is also a great equalizer in terms of on-track performance of the drivers, as the drivers have a much higher chance of mistakes, more safety cars, tighter grids. So we shall see if that ends up being the case here tonight, or if my premonition ends up being false and does not come true. I need to go do something very quick, everybody. I will be right back. It will be the quickest transition of your life. We're about to get going into this race. Sit tight for about 45 more seconds before we go into this race. I'll be right back, ladies and gentlemen. And as the drivers still are yet to ready up, I have returned. Thanks so much for your patience, everybody. Benzo is convinced that the game is going to glitch out. I personally don't think so. I think we're going to see a normal race, I'm hoping. Now, that's all we can do is just pray, for being honest with each other. So the question is, are we going to be on inters or full wets? It's looking like it's inters. So we shall see. Inters or the preferred tire for, I'm sure, all these drivers. But wets make the race extra interesting. Good luck to all the drivers. 2, 3, 4, 5 lights are on. And we're off. Now we're off. It's race time. We got a good launch from Xylo. Giants fan, a really good launch as well. All the drivers getting off. It's a little bit squabbly in the back. We got 3, 4 wide at some moments. And a Ferrari of Sketchy will try to go around the outside. A Giants fan, they might make contact into turn 1. There's already some carnage to the back. Don't blink. Yellow Snowman, Jack Ledford falling. Yellow Snowman especially getting caught up in the ends. Pinkirk and Calm all getting caught up out of turn 2. The rest of the grid mostly making it through. Sketchable, great launch for him. Gets himself staying into third. Res is really nice, actually. Moves up in position. Giants fan loses 2 on that launch. But Zeech is our huge gainer, along with Gary, up 8 positions. After starting in last place, effectively behind, Jack Ledford, Gary's already up into 10th. That's unreal. And he might be making it into 9th, as he might be able to get around Braided Axe. Taking the outside line into this turn number 11. Takes the outside line. Does he have the grip? He's going to stick. It's side by side into 12, and I think he might have stuck it. It looks like he did. So Gary putting on a show here at the beginning of this race. Already into 9th. Great launch from Gary 5000. Remember, he has won a Tier 2 race, or Tier 2 championship here in Moose Racing League. Was promoted into Tier 1 last season. He's felt right at home last season and this season as well, in my opinion. He's been doing a great job. A little bit higher up, let's go ahead and take a look at Estenba at the back of the front pack. Xylo, though, already gapping out Minico quite extensively. Pretty huge start for Xylo. We got a car way off. Looks like NXM Bops. He entirely missed his braking zone in that final corner at turn 17. To try to make a move on Calm right there. Didn't quite time his re-entry right. He could have probably gotten in front of Calm, but he's stuck behind, had to stick behind. Looks like he's missing a front right end plate. Yeah. Looks like he is missing that right end plate on his wing, so Bops definitely in some trouble. Santiago getting caught up. He had to go into the pits on lap 1. Unfortunate. Must have had a little bit of damage. Santiago now at the very back. At the front, we got Xylo, Minico, Sketchable Giants fan, making up the top 4. Estenba just up in the top 5. Remember, if we looked at our standings, everybody, out of those top 5 that are up there right now, oopsies, we got Estenba Giants fan, Sketchable. 3 of those that are in the top 5 right now are fighting for a current championship lead. So it's a tight top, that's for sure. Minico, though, getting gapped out pretty heavily by Xylo. Seems to me this is Xylo's specialty, a wet Miami. Already got 2.3 seconds over Minico in just the opening 2 laps. That's pretty unreal. That's pretty impressive. A little farther down, we got Jack Ledford on the hard charge. We got a yellow flag way in the back. Oh, no. Oh, it's Calm. Right here. He must have just hit the slide, nose it into the wall. I did that myself in a Creator Series race the other day, nosing it in qualifying, but he did it in the race on lap 2, and that's our first safety car. It's out. Santiago will be so excited. He's going to be able to get back up into it. Speedy Goose and Alan Toast trading positions. And Alan Toast dips to the pits. Braided Axe as well going in. Looks like those might be some of the only drivers going in the pits. I think they just would be, except for King Kirk and probably Bops as well. So 4 drivers taking the opportunity to go into the pits right here. Wow. All right. J-Joe asks a very interesting question. If Calm gets a quali ban, does he serve it in Tier 1 and Tier 2? He serves it in whichever tier he got it. Right? So if Calm gets a quali ban in Tier 1, he serves it in Tier 1. It's a quali ban in Tier 2, he has to serve it in Tier 2. Simple as that. The wing of the Williams looking like it got put on a little bit late, like a bad Lego block. But it's on. And right now, Bops and King Kirk make up the bottom 2 positions. Xylo, Minico, Sketchable, Giants fan, Estenba hang out in the top 5. Did I see some dry tires for Bops? Bops playing a hyper-aggressive strategy. You can see how much he's struggling. They're still sprinkling. This was too early, for sure. Bops probably should have stuck on the inters. If it wasn't sprinkling anymore, then I'd say maybe. But I'm not sure. J-Joe is just... Oh! Oh, Bops. Walling it. Oh, uh-oh. J-Joe's just trying to give everybody penalties right now. He's drunk on power for being a team principal. But yes, Jordan has a very good point. It's impressive how Zeech always avoids the lap 1 carnage. He definitely did. He's already sitting up into 6th right now. I don't know how he does it, man. Like he says just luck, but I don't believe him either. Gary and Jack are on 10 positions made up, but I just lost my train of thought because I saw Xylo go in. Xylo opting for slicks as well. Hold on. What are these guys thinking? 2 drivers on the slicks now. Xylo almost throws away his race in the pit lane. Just leaving it. Excuse me, sir? Do I agree with you? Not at all. Xylo puts on the mediums. Says, no, that's good enough for me, but... Interesting. So the 2 drivers on the mediums are Xylo and Bops. Is sitting 16th and 18th. And in my opinion, with the pace of said mediums, they're going to stay there. I don't expect to see them move up at all. I'm still seeing sprinkles on the camera. Xylo needs to hope that Bobs does not make it back to the grid, like to catch up to the grid before the safety car goes in this lap. He needs to hope it stays out one more lap. Look at how much he's sliding just coming around that corner at almost no speed. Turn 12 is not a corner you should be sliding like that, but he is. And it looks like Bobs is going to catch the field, so safety car will be going in this lap. That's going to really mess up Xylo and Bobs, in my opinion, because I don't think it's the time for it. I think they did it too early. Well, actually, safety car might not come in. Hold on a second. Did I speak too soon? I think I may have spoke too soon. Yep, safety car probably won't come in, actually, so Xylo and Butts may now have a big brain. But before this moment where the safety car had a chance at coming in right now, would have been really silly. It's just too early. There's enough rain on the ground to the point that it's going to make it really difficult. Oh my gosh, everybody goes in. And Xylo will be net leading the race again, with Bops now up at the top as well. Holy smokes, dude. What is going on? Monkey see, monkey do. King Kirk says, no, I'm going to stay on the inters. They must be absolute clairvoyant geniuses. And the hards for so many of the drivers. Mix of hards and mediums for everybody. What? Shush up. Look at the tire choices. Yellow and white, but no reds. Makes sense, obviously. Xylo feeling like the biggest brain man of all time. King Kirk, though, our only driver out on inters right here. King Kirk decided not to make that pit stop with everybody else. He said, nah, it's still good enough for the inters. He's going to run the inters championship. I think he's hoping that the rain comes back. Now imagine we had a race where we have some rain start, goes away for a little bit, and then comes back. That would add some serious intrigue to this session. So we'll see if that's going to happen. However, do I expect that? No, I actually highly doubt that. So we're going to be getting back to go racing very soon. At the end of this lap, we're getting to lap 6. We'll be under racing conditions again. 18 drivers remaining. It's tight. It's very tight. By the way, if you guys ever wonder why I stand up during commentary, it's for a couple reasons. One, I sit down a lot for these league races, and so I kind of need to just stretch my legs frequently. But two, I feel like I get some more blood flowing, you know? Get you guys hyped up, you know what I mean? You guys can only see my body moving, but get you guys hyped up. And we're going to get really hyped up here as this safety car restart is about to go down. We're going to see Xylo try to gap the rest of these drivers and get a good launch. Obviously, I think he's going to get a significantly better launch on King Kirk than really anybody else. However, Bops, got caught slipping. Look at them napping behind the wheel. King Kirk was not ready at all. And now they blast through turns 17, 18, and 19 at the end of this lap 5. King Kirk goes in the pits. He has had to. So Sketchypool takes home 4th now. Minico sitting in the podium. Bob's in 2nd. Xylo on top. Xylo looking to go take a chase down at this championship. It looks like these tires are still a little bit slippery for all these drivers. But we got a yellow flag in the back. It's Stig getting caught up with everybody. Speedy Goose and Alan Toast almost get a little bit friendly as it is. And touch, but Speedy Goose stays behind. Alan Toast sits in 15th. The garage of the night right now that's really seems to have the best luck. There's not a single garage out there that seems to be doing well. I think the top 10. The only team that has 2 drivers in the top 10 is Mercedes. That's incredible. The only team with 2 drivers in the top 10, Mercedes. And they're just in 6th and 10th. So, wild right there. You can see some late braking right there from Santiago Robles and Alan Toast. Santiago trying to defend, Alan Toast trying to attack. They're good friends outside of the track. Great friends, or great rivals on the track. It's fun to see them battling it out right here in Miami. Back up at the top. Let's go ahead and take a look at Mr. Jack Ledford. He's about to go and probably make a move right here on Gary. He's going to go take the inside into turn 17. Probably easy done and dusted. Yeah, there was almost nothing Jerry could do right there. Jack Ledford had a really good run coming out of 16, and he's through going into lap 7. He leads Gary, sits himself in 8th. Right now, Jack Ledford coming back from a quality ban. No, Jack Ledford under pressure again from Gary. Gary takes an inside line right there, almost gets pinched. Jack Ledford barely holds on and holds around the outside. Now he'll be able to defend a little bit more efficiently and maybe even pull out a small gap coming out of the S's right here. Up at the top, it's Xylo and NXM Bops. They're still super tight at the very top. Xylo, though, making it not so tight, actually. He's 2.6 seconds ahead. Absolutely flying. J-Joe says Sanchez is on a wet setup. Probably expecting it to be wetter for longer, which is understandable. But obviously it's not paid off for him. We're now in very, very, very dry conditions as it is. The dry, though, does bring out a lot more passing. We're going to go ahead and take a look at Uwe Zeech being pressured up by Braided Axe. Braided Axe just 4/10 out from Zeech. Looking to go make a move as soon as he possibly can, but it seems like the move is just not quite there yet. This grid, all in all, quite tight. The only big gap we've got is 14 seconds between Alan Toast and King Kirk. Alan Toast must have had a bit of a howler, a little bit of a spinner. So now Alan Toast and Santiago are just battling at the back. It's actually pretty fun how far back they are. That's hilarious. 15 seconds back, they're just fighting each other, and that's about it. So, there's an interesting battle right there. Zeech and Gary now. Gary just getting passed up left and right. He just got passed up by Jack Ledford. Now he's going to get passed up by Zeech. So Gary actually falling back down the grid. He will have DRS to re-attack. I don't think it's going to be enough. No, it will not. He has to relegate and stay behind. Speedy Goose setting to the pace right now. Puts down a fastest lap. We do have a little bit of a spin in the back. Hold on, don't blink. Oh, people coming out of the pits and whatnot. Yellow Snowman may have had a bit of an accident coming out of turn 2. And now it's a 3-wide battle between Jack Ledford, Speedy Goose, and Yellow Snowman. Jack definitely had a little bit of a moment. He was sitting in 7th for a second. Now he's down into 12th. So Jack Ledford having a bit of a howler moment right there. Has to go now, do it all over again, make that time back up. After falling down. Santiago and Toast both pit. That makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. DRS is open for Yellow Snowman. Can he put the challenge on Jack Ledford? Jack Ledford looking like he's very vulnerable right now. It's Yellow Snowman taking the outside line. Going into turn 11. He's going to try to stick it around the outside. Gives just enough space to the AlphaTauri, but not more. And that's Yellow Snowman almost certainly going to be through on his way into the bridge. He is through. Nice move from Yellow Snowman. He's up into 12th. Trying to get a little bit closer to those points positions that seem to be eluding him so far this race. We're only 8 laps in, of course, but it's pretty hard to find yourself up there. Bops, though, getting challenged up by Minico. It's a 3-way battle between Minico, Bops, and Sketchable. We can see all 3 of these drivers, red, blue, and green, fighting it for those final 2 podium spots. Sketchable currently on the outside of that podium. Bops and Minico taking up 3rd and 2nd right now on track. Minico taking the inside line, coming in 2, and that might be Bob taking the outside line out of 3. Is he going to have the better grip? I don't know. They're going to be side-by-side going into the S's. They're definitely going to be side-by-side into the S's. It's going to be tight. This is a very dangerous spot to go side-by-side. Minico trying to hang around the outside. He decides to relegate, stays behind. Bops holds the lead over the 2 drivers that are chasing him down. But there might be a move on the inside. It's Minico taking an inside line like crazy into turn 7 and 8. And he's back up into the front. Now he's going to have to defend like mad. But he won't be able to defend this. No way. He's taking the inside. He's right in the middle of 3. He is the monkey in the middle. Tries to get a little bit of slipstream from the Ferrari, but I think he's going to be hard done by. Maybe not, though. He's not quite in the back. It's going to be side-by-side going through the wide hairpin at turn 11 and 12. Into the bridge. Minico decides to stay back. Lets Estemba almost touch the rear of him. Minico, unfortunately, hard done by in that exchange. Sketchable was 1st and 4th, now in 2nd. Sketchable and Minico swapping places in that exchange. A tasty little battle there on lap 9. We like seeing that. The DRS train is definitely decently strong. But what else is strong is this guy's pace. Xylo, 5.4 seconds ahead of everybody else as we go ahead and take a look at a pass that's happening right now for Bops and Minico. They're really going at it right now. They're duking it out. And Bops looking to take a move, maybe a late dive in turn 1. just enough room to the Aston Martin on the outside of him. The Aston Martin of Minico stays ahead, but yeah, Zylo is honestly in a class of his own today. He's flying right now. Absolutely flying. We got a yellow flag at the very back. Looks like it could be King Kirk. Yeah, King Kirk on his way into the pits right there. In 16th place, he's now going to be fighting it up with Alan Toast and Santiago. King Kirk actually going into the pits right here, so King Kirk really just not having a race. He's decided to retire in the pits. He is done with the race, unfortunately, tonight. So we're now down to 17 drivers here tonight, and let's see what the 17 can get done. Rich Sebi that we're watching right now, trying to chase down Giants fan. Obviously, like I said, Giants fan, one of my drivers to watch for the night for many, many reasons. He's just always so consistently quick, but tonight has seemed to just not quite be his night. Sitting in 6th is a little low for his standards, in my opinion, and I'm sure in his opinion as well. So he's definitely not going to be happy about how this race has gone so far. A Williams? A braided axe got really wiggly right there. If you guys happen to see that one in the bottom left-hand corner of the screen, braided axe just caught a mega tail slapper. Somehow brought it back around, and he lives to tell the tale, but that was tight. Esteban fighting it up with Bob. Bob's now down into 5th after losing out that battle with Minico, but now he's trying to fight it back up. Esteban gets back up in front of Esteban into 4th. Esteban has to hold back. Remember, Esteban last week's winner at Hungary. Really great performance. Esteban makes an unforced error coming out of turn 2. He's going to have to take the inside and just wait for so long. This is painfully long. He has to wait until the Red Bull of Stig passes him, and now he can hit the gas, and the safety car comes out because he had to wait for the drivers. Although that does slightly work in his favor, and he won't lose entirely all that advantage. Estenba, after sitting in 5th, has found himself 10 positions back, and you can see through the wiggle of his wheel going down that straightaway on the way into turn 4. He's not happy with himself, and understandably so. Those that do have a lot to be happy about, those Gary, Jack Ledford, Bops, and Sebi all making up 7 or more positions, with the biggest gain being 9 positions by Gary. Those who are really having a tough one, it's Estenba, Toast, and Santiago. They're struggling tonight, unfortunately. So very, very unfortunate for those guys. Every single driver has made a stop already, so you technically do not need to stop at all for the rest of the race. Those that did get on the hards, it's going to be a battle to get them to the end, but it is doable. And we got Zylo going to go ahead and pop in the pits. It's a smart move from him. Take the advantage while he's got it. Sketchable won't go in. Minico won't go in. Bops might. Yeah, he will. The medium runners are going to go in. Hard runners won't. Medium runners saying, hey, I can take mediums to the end now. Let's take them. 18 laps on mediums is definitely doable. Braden, unfortunately, catches 5 right there going into the pit lane. Oh, unfortunate for him. Gary is one of the only hard runners going into the pits. Interesting pit strategies coming out from everybody right here. The top 5 all on fresh hards. Zylo splitting that gap up, though. He's in front of Don't Blink, his teammate for the night. He's on fresh hards versus the 7-lap-old hards of those that are all in front of him. Zylo's going to have some work to do to cut in front of this traffic, though, I will say. Traffic on this track is difficult sometimes if you don't have a setup that's conducive to making passes. If you have just a little bit too high a downforce, making passes here is so difficult. It's incredible. It's such a slog, you know, to get in front of these drivers in the what's it called? In the S's, especially. It just slows you down so much. Sebi says, bro, what is my race? It seems like it's going all right for him. Sitting in 4th place right now. Definitely taking advantage of these safety cars quite well. Guys, I'm really sorry. I do need to be right back one more time. I'm having some pet issues tonight. My cats and dog are just being absolutely wonderful tonight. So thank you so much for your patience, everybody. I will be right back in just about 30 seconds. And we're going to be back into commentating this race. So far, it's been quite a race. Obviously, we're on lap 12 with 17 more to go. Plenty of action left here tonight for Tier 1 of Moose Racing League. I'll be right back, everybody. germs. We are back. Thanks so much for your patience, everybody. I will say, one of my favorite things about having 3 pets is the fact that they always find a way to cause trouble. I'd say they're causing lots of trouble. Hooray. Ducati says, when you said Don't Blink's name, I thought you were going to say something after it, lol. What would I have said? The 5900 at the end of it. I think it's very creative how he uses the 1-3 for Blink for the B. Quite fun. Quite fun. We're back at it. The thick of this race is where we're at right now. We got drivers on a whole bunch of different strategies. Alan Toast on 6-lap old tires. Santiago on 4-lap old tires. Everybody else on 1-lap or 8-lap old tires. Xylo obviously sitting in the best position right now, I would argue. 6th place. The 5 drivers ahead of him all have older tires. And the 3 drivers behind him all have older tires. The next closest competitor is Bops on the same tire age. Now, Gary and Speedy Goose having faith in themselves they can take these mediums long. I personally think that was the right move. I think the mediums were the tire to go on, so let's see if I was right or if I was wrong. We're about to go racing again here in Miami. Looks like Sketchy Bull has gotten us underway almost. Not yet. Waiting for it. There he goes. Good launch from Sketchy Bull. Giants fan was pretty wise to it, though. Sebby was very wise to it, and Xylo was extremely wise to it. Already makes up 1 on Zeech. So looking for an inside dive right there. Almost smacks the Haas, who had a little bit of a tail slapper. Has to get up on the curb to avoid Giants fan. And Xylo now putting the pressure on the outside of Giants fan. Xylo almost certainly going to get through Giants fan going in to turn 4 right here. We already have a crash in the back. It's Esteban. Jack Ledford getting collected at the back. Jack is going to be upset about that. But, oh, he's Zeech. Whoa, what a move. The inside of the Haas of Giants fan. We're going to put the fight to him. Giants fan holds him off, but only just. It's tight. Sebby sitting in 4th. Having a great race for himself so far. Giants fan, though, hot on his heels. Trying to close up that gap. Sebby trying to close up to Xylo. It's close. It's really close. Around the outside. Can Sebby stick it? He's going to take the inside line. That was a little bit aggressive, I think. Probably should have relegated. Xylo stays ahead. They avoid spinning each other, but that was almost a disaster. Almost an absolute disaster. They live. Wow, wow, wow. What a restart this has been. Zeech and Blink side by side going down the final straight on their way into turn 17. And then we got a Ferrari Yellow Snowman just sniffing. Ooh, I like what I see ahead of me. A fight. Maybe an opportunity to move up. Zeech does Blink on that exit right there. So don't blink. That's a relegate behind. Stays back. Zeech doing a little bit of a weavy move to break the toe. I think that's fair. He stays ahead on his way into lap 15. A little farther down, it's Gary, Bops, Stig, Speedy Goose, Santiago all kind of in it. Santiago looking for an inside line on the inside of the Haas right there. Going to take the outside road. Getting around him into the start of the S's. Does the Aston Martin have the grip to stick on the outside of Speedy Goose? Speedy Goose is no slouch here. Also has the tire advantage for sure. But on his way into turn 7 and turn 8, Santiago Robles may have just gotten through it. Wow, it's a side-by-side battle all the way to the turns 5 through 9. The turns 5 through 8 S's. And Santiago Robles comes out on top. Speedy Goose giving him all the room that he needed, but only just that much. Now Santiago looking to maybe have some pressure on the inside of himself. Speedy Goose wants to put that exact same pressure onto Santiago he just had put onto him. Says, hey, I gave you space, now give me some. And it might be the Haas ahead. It's probably going to be the Haas ahead. They're so tight. The Haas had to back out of that one. But he stays in contention. Santiago, though, still lingering ahead. Wow, they're really fighting it right there for 12th. That's a nice, tasty little battle. Xylo at the front, though, already chasing up onto Sketchy Bull. We know Sketchy Bull is not one to just lay down and let somebody take a place off of him. So I expect to see some hardcore defense from Sketchy Bull. Minico sits into 3rd in an opportunity to cause some disruption, some pain to these top 2 race runners right now. Sebby in 4th, though, definitely still in it. He's still within, throwing distance, but a bit far. Giants fan in 5th, and then Zeech way out of DRS right there in 6th. The top 5 is nothing. It's all but settled right now. anything can happen for sure. Seems like Jack Ledford's feeling pretty hard done by that incident he got into. Zylo will be feeling pretty hard done by right now as Sketchy Bull's going to try to take the inside line, and I'm sure he's going to go full defensive. Force Zylo to go as wide as possible. Does Zylo have the grip to hold it? It might be. He does. Wow, look at that move from Zylo. 11, 12, and 13. Those turns are so kind to him. Sketchy Bull has to relegate, stay behind, and now he holds up that second place spot. He holds it well, but he's not going to be happy about that. He wants to win, I'm sure. Just inside that, it's Giants at the very back of this little DRS train. This 5 leading car DRS train. Giants fan doesn't like being at the back of anything right now, especially at the back of the train. He doesn't get the bar cart like many other people at the back of the train do get, so he's not going to be stoked about it. Snowman and Blink fighting it for 7th. Not much of a fight, though. Blink pretty far off the pace. Zylo puts it on 30.297 back from Zylo. So we're in the thick of this race right now. We got 12 laps to go. Math was really hard for me to do right there, but I got done. 12 laps to go. It looks like Jack Ledford and Esteban still fighting it out. Hold on a second. Let's take a look at this one. This is tasty. Ooh, Esteban getting a way better run in that first corner, but then ended up losing out a little bit of traction right there. Jack Ledford. Does he have wing damage or anything, that kind of stuff? He's literally got no wing. Esteban's just trying to get in front of him. Oh my gosh. And Jack Ledford is just not letting him through. That is infuriating for Esteban, I'm sure. The braking difference is going to be so severe. There's no way that Jack Ledford would be able to hold this one. But I think he might, actually. Oh, he just pushed it so wide. There's nothing that Esteban can do to get through. A lot of people corner cutting. Oh, hold on. Speedy Goose cut. Speedy Goose out. Bumps. Behind. Multiple cars around here under the bridge. Speedy Goose, Jack Ledford, or Speedy Goose and Bops both getting turned around underneath the bridge. So that's the race mostly over for them, minus the safety car. Santiago just outside the points. A lot of people catching time penalties, though, in that moment. So I'm wondering if they all got caught up in something. Giants fans caught up in the crosshairs of Rich Sebi, who goes and side pods the crap out of him. Rich Sebi just locking up a little bit. Giants fan holds the advantage, holds the position. I'm sure Sebi did not mean to do that. So he stays behind right here. Rich Sebi and Giants fan battling has allowed Minico to gap out 2 seconds over Giants fan. That's big. Zeech, though, looking to pounce on this battle in front of him. He knows that they're weak. He knows they're using all their tire possible. He's like, all right, I can get this one. Just a minute. Give me a second. The ERS total right now for Minico is low. He's at 37%. Better than the 2 drivers on either side of him, but Zylo obviously probably has quite a bit. He still has 30%. Less than I thought he was going to have, but still has plenty, so he's looking fine. Speedy Goose asks, what's my EA ID? It's a PUNJEEW. I haven't checked if you're still off of me or not. I have to look. But I definitely can't really look in the middle of the race right now. We got a lot of action going on right here. In fact, we got a little bit of action right there. That 10th and 11th spot, Santiago and Stig. Santiago right up in the back of Stig. Can he make the move going into turn 17? It's looking like he just might. Santiago getting a really good run on his way into 17. They're side by side for that corner. The Aston Martin almost getting outplayed on the exit of it. It might be outplayed, a little bit of a wheel tapping, but they both lived to tell the tale. And the Aston Martin looking for the outside line now going into turn 1. Stig not wanting to give that position up no matter what, and Santiago decides, hey, it's just not worth the fight. Let me stay behind. Probably smart right there. He needs to find a better position to attack. This might be it coming up pretty soon, though. You can see how much the speed of Santiago is significantly different than that of Stig coming out of a lot of these corners. Ooh, Speedy Goose says he got kicked. Let me see if I can get it. Said he's still offline. Yep, JJo's got it. PUNJEEW. We got Minico sitting in third, chasing down Sketchable. Sketchable is looking strong so far this race. But Minico's also looking equally as strong in my opinion. It's looking very, very good. Jack Ledford, Esteban still fighting it. Oh my gosh, they're side by side going into turn 12. Ledford on no wing is fighting off Esteban on a full wing. Jack Ledford. Oh my gosh. How is he doing this? He is just causing so much disruption. Deciding not to pit. He's just waiting for a safety car or something. I'm not exactly sure what he's doing right now, but he's holding off Esteban. By proxy, Bob's Speedy Goose and Toast. Wow. I mean, he's getting it done. Oh, he was getting it done, and he spins into the wall. I said he was going to get done. And now it's going to be Jack Ledford, almost certainly going to go to the pits. There he goes. That lets Esteban through, but only now. He's 10 seconds away from the next person. Oh, that held him up so much. He's not going to be happy about that. Zeech and Sebi fighting it off for fifth. Very tight. Oh boy, how do they handle this slow section? Oh, Zeech doesn't handle it right. He gets 3 seconds for a big warning right there. Understandably so. I saw it the way that he cut over that first corner. That was way too much. Way too much. Back up at the near the front. It's Minico, Sketchybolt. Sketchybolt definitely having a lower downforce setup than Minico, I'm sure. We got a yellow flag in the back. Could be Jack Ledford. It looks like it is Jack Ledford. He's just pretty much done and dusted from it. Zeech fighting it off with the McLaren. Sebi does get in front. Jack Ledford really getting the hot tires getting him bad. Uh-oh. Jack Ledford. Unfortunate for him. Let's see how he handles those hot tires. Oh, not well. They are very hard to drive on right now, so I'm not surprised. Hot tires are definitely really tough, especially on the track like this, where the track temps are so high. There's no real way to mitigate the negative effects for them. Up at the top, it's Minico Sketchybolt. Fighting it still. Sketchybolt just behind. No, just side by side. Oh, side by side into the bridge. Oh my gosh, the Ferrari stuck his nose in there. Wow, is he really going to stick that? No, he doesn't. That was so brave. He still is right up next to it, but he decides to relegate. Oh my gosh. That was crazy. Sketchybolt is hyper aggressive tonight. I love it. He goes so far away from Minico, gets past him, no problem. Giants fan actually getting up into the action now too. Getting it around the outside of Minico. It's going to be tight. I think the Haas might have the grip for it, but just quite not actually. He has to stay behind. So Minico still sits in third. Sketchable in second. Zylo, 5-second gap up into first. Huge one, but Sketchable and Minico now go side by side again out of turn 2. It's so tight with the 3 of them. Oh, big tap from Giants fan. Giants fan hits Minico. Spins out Sketchable. Sketchable loses the wing. Everybody crashing. Everybody crashing. Oh my gosh. That was massive. All these drivers having to take so much evasive maneuvering. They need to see the yellow flag and realize there's some stuff going on ahead of them. Let's slow down. Oh, that is so unfortunate. Giants fan almost certainly going to catch a bit of a penalty for that one. Minico is going to be hard done by. Really, really, really upset, I'm sure. He was having the race of his life. And unfortunately, a bit of a tap from Giants fan caused such a big collision right there. Sketchable also now down into 9th. Not going to be stoked at all. But those who are going to be stoked, it's Rich, Sebi, and the Yellow Snowman. Look at how much they just gained out of that. They're sitting in 3rd and 4th now. Wow. Yeah, Sebi really had to do some quite impressive evasive maneuvers. Somehow no safety car from that one. Sebi missing a right front end plate, though. So Sebi, I thought he came out of that one unscathed, but it looks like he didn't. So either he's going to have some really great low front wing, racing, or Sebi's going to have to pit with 7 laps to go. Now, I'm sure Sebi would have wished that was a safety car because he would be able to pit right now, get that fresh wing. Everybody would go in the softs, and he might have a bit more of a fighting chance. Right now, Sebi's got to make a hard decision. Do I pit or do I stay out? He stays out. Yeah, smart move from him. Says, all right, I can defend. He's got a big gap ahead of him though, you know. So it's really just all about defense. Look at the train behind Sebi. Hold on a second, everybody. Look at all those cars behind Sebi. Sebi's got like 8 seconds ahead of him. Minico spins. He's DNF'd. Actually, he does not spin. Sorry, he's DNF's in the pits. I'm so sorry. I scared everybody. Minico has decided to say, I'm out. Sketchable and Essenbaugh both popping in the pits right there. They're having to get some new wings. Unfortunate for Minico, man. He's going to be so hard done by right now. He is not going to be stoked, I guarantee you. Poor guy. The luck that he has had is about as bad as anybody else that I've seen in a hot minute. Very unfortunate. But the luck that Yellow Snowman and Rich Sebi are having today is pretty darn good, honestly. Don't Blink also definitely making up some lucky positions right there. Sits in 5th. Look at the tight battle behind everybody. Look at how tight this group is right here. We got Santiago to Zeech to Gary to Blink to Snowman to Sebi. All of them all in this little fight right here. From Santiago's point of view, he can see it all. Stig also kind of getting up in the mix now, too. He's a little bit farther out of it. Big DRS train right here going into lap 23. Zylo's about to cross the line into lap 24. Giants fan 9 seconds away from Zylo. Sebi 7 seconds back from that. Let's take a look at that 3rd place spot right here and 4th as well. Snowman nowhere near close enough to make a move. So right now Sebi has been doing a good job to mitigate the damage and hold off the Ferrari. Let's go ahead and take a look at these penalties. It's a good move right there. Good shout. 3 seconds to all except for Santiago on 6, Braden on 8, Toast on 6. The top 10, very tight. Bot's right now just outside of the top 10, though. Even on the penalties, he's 1.8 seconds away from beating his teammate, Mr. Braided Axe. So right now, not going to have it. Santiago, though, right now going to lose one out to TRL Stig. And look at the speed difference right here, everybody. The Ferrari right up on the gearbox of the McLaren going through those S's. And it's going to be a deep dive from the Ferrari. Look at that smart move from Yellow Snowman, finding his way through. He's up into 3rd. Onto the podium he goes. But now he's going to have to defend the DRS advantage that Rich Sebi has, along with the straight line speed from a definitely different setup. Yellow Snowman has to now fall behind going into the slowest section of the track. Wow. That is going to be tough for Yellow Snowman. He's not going to be stoked about this being behind. Oh, the Red Bull making a little bit of a mistake right there. That looked like it was Gary getting a little bit sideways. And it's the Ferrari and the Alfa Romeo. Don't Blink. Next Yellow Snowman. They keep it clean going underneath the bridge. There's a yellow flag behind. It looks like it might be Essenbaugh or Zeech. They make it out alive so far. Wow. This has been insane. Minico getting so hard done by today, man. It's just such a tough race for him, dude. The way that it happened, too, it was just it looked like it was a genuinely honest mistake of Giants fan just getting a little bit too much gassy. It didn't even look like it was much of a move. It was more so he just accidentally rear-ended him. But tough, dude. So tough the way that worked out. Right now, it's Yellow Snowman trying his best to get in front of Rich Sebi. Just can't find a way through. Watch this. Okay, we're going into turns 4, 5, and 6 right here with a 4/10 advantage for Rich Sebi. That will be down to 0 by the end of this cornering section. Look at this. Immediately, 3/10 in just 2 corners for Yellow Snowman. He's going to think about the same move again. Decides, no, I learned from last time. Let me stay behind, get a better exit. A 7, that was really smart from Yellow Snowman. He's learning from his last experience. But again, the straight line setup of Rich Sebi is letting him hold this lead with a broken wing. Don't Blink now saying, all right, I'm almost up into this one. Santiago also almost up into it. Santiago going to go too wide. He's going to make a huge dive onto Don't Blink. It's side by side. They go into turn 11 and 12, but Santiago has to dip out of it. A yellow flag from behind does not cause a safety car. We're almost at the point where a safety car is impossible. Santiago, though, now all the way up into 6th place. He's had a really good job to make up some positions here at the back end of this race. Yellow Snowman needs to get in front of Sebi before they get into any sort of heavy cornering sections. Otherwise, there's no way that Yellow can keep that lead. Without it, Rich Sebi will be able to defend for like 8 laps straight on significantly worse downforce, which would be insane. But insane. What can Yellow Snowman do? Yellow Snowman giving it his all. Look at the difference right here. Again, 2/10. Yellow Snowman needs to find some creative way to get around Rich Sebi right here. Needs to be very creative. But he can't find it. Maybe we're on the outside of this. It's just not there. It's so hard to find a spot. Sketchable has decided to retire in the pits. He is done for the day. Unfortunate for Sketchable. I know he's going to be really upset with how his race went too. Getting caught up in that big collision between himself, Giants fan, and Minico when they were both sitting in those last two podium positions. Really unfortunate how that one finished out. Don't blink. Now really close to Yellow Snowman, but Yellow Snowman losing out so much time on those straightaways. This is the moment. Yellow Snowman needs to find some way to get in front. But it's just not there. It's just not there. Is he biding his time? What's he doing right now? Waiting for this McLaren to make a mistake? I'm not sure. Rich Sebi doesn't look like he's going to make a mistake anytime soon. He's got relatively low energy, but look at the top speed right here. Yellow Snowman is rocking with a pretty solid top speed, but Rich Sebi sitting at 206. Yellow Snowman only got to about just under 200. Yellow Snowman makes the inside move right there. This is the spot where he could do it. Can he get beside him? He just not. Can't. Oh, he just can't. Wow, my words did not work right there. He just did not do it. Yellow Snowman has to stay back and forth again for another lap. Painfully stuck behind the McLaren of Rich Sebi. This is the battle that is just so fun to watch because it's such a driving style, battle right here. Snowman needs to find some unique way to get in front, but it's just not there. You can see how painful this is. For Snowman makes the outside run. Whoa, what a big outside run. He's definitely going to be through pretty easily going out of turn 7. This might be the moment. He's got 6/10 almost on Rich Sebi. What can Sebi do to respond? No energy left for him to speak of. Snowman has to defend the inside line like crazy. Sebi going to have to take the outside. It's going to be so done way early. Look at the straight line advantage from that McLaren. There's nothing that Snowman can do. This has got to be infuriating for him. Tries to find a way around the outside going into the bridge. It's not there as well. He's still going to have to stick behind, and everybody behind him is equally as frustrating. This is unreal how Sebi has been able to defend this for so long, for so well. Snowman thinks he's like, oh yeah, I got the move. That's an easy pass right there. Done and dusted out of the corners. Nope, just kidding. Sebi, 20-mile-an-hour advantage on the straights. It's crazy. Again, we got a 205 top speed for Rich Sebi. Snowman struggling to even get to 200. It's crazy. It's crazy how much of a difference it is. Snowman, very much so notorious for running low downforce setups too. But today, he's not running the 0-0. So interesting strats from him. Santiago Robles right now sitting on 9 seconds of penalties. He's going to be falling way out of the way out of the points, I want to say, with that penalty rack up that he's got. So we'll see how that works out. Obviously, right now it's still Yellow Snowman versus Rich Sebi. Really, the battle for that final podium position. Is Sebi going to be able to hold it off, or Yellow Snowman finds some creative way around? Again, it's way around the outside, the exact same way he did it last time around. But he needs to have the launch of his life. That might be a yellow. Oh, Rich Sebi had a huge moment. Huge moment. That's 8/10 now. There's no way. There's no way that Sebi can catch up 8/10 on a straightaway. As Sebi made a big mistake coming out of turn 7. If this happens, I'm going to freak out. It might happen. It's going to happen. They're still side by side going into turn 11. It's a slight tap, but not enough. That's Yellow Snowman through. The Ferrari finally gets the grip to get through. Out of turn 4, 5, 6, 7. He found a way. And now he leads going under the bridge. It's going to be massive advantage coming out of this corner right here. Turn 16 will go well for him. But Sebi, if he has a good enough launch and the straightaway speed works on his advantage, this might still be in contention. Snowman knows it. He dives so hard to the inside. It's Sebi still trying to fight. He's got the crazy straight line advantage. 215 miles an hour for Rich Sebi. It's going to be an outside move. Can he find the grip? Remember, he has a broken wing. He does not have the grip. It's Snowman again, still able to defend. Santiago Robles, don't blink, right behind him. They're fighting as well. It is side by side, tight for all these drivers here. Going into the final lap right now. Rich Sebi trying to make a move one more time. It's Snowman and Sebi side by side. If Snowman holds the lead going into these corners, it'll be his. It's going to be his. Sebi, no way he catches up to that one. Santiago Robles comes out of nowhere. He's going to have a huge advantage going into these corners right here. Yep, Sebi had to back out of that one for sure. Sits in the 5th now. He did so good to hold off But Don't Blink has zero patience from Gary right there. Huge side swipe from Gary. I don't think he saw the way that angle was going for Don't Blink. He's not going to be stoked about that at all. Sebi 1.7 seconds back. Might still actually have Gary somehow on that straight line advantage, but Santiago Robles will have to stay behind Yellow Snowman, I'm sure. Maybe not. Hold on a second. What a late dive from Santiago Robles. Snowman may as well just let him through. Like, it's actually not even worth it for him to fight. He still wants to fight, though. But you may as well just let him through. Yep. That's smart from Snowman. Says, all right, go ahead. No point in me battling this one right now. Let me just catch back up. Xylo has already crossed the line, and Giants fan comes home in second. Great job for those two. Amazing racing. Behind them, it's going to be Santiago. Xylo, congratulations on your race win here tonight. You've done a great job. Giants fan, congratulations on second. Amazing racing for you. Third place right now, it's battling for Santiago and Snowman, but it's going to be Snowman. Santiago cannot make 9 seconds in like 2 corners. No surprise. Santiago will come home way farther down the grid due to penalties. Yellow Snowman gets a podium. Sebi into 4th, holding off Don't Blink, and Bops, and Stig, and Santiago, and Braided Axe. Sebi on the defensive drive of the century. An unreal performance from Rich Sebi, but he found a way to hold them off for 11 laps, I want to say, straight. Unreal for him. But Xylo, our race winner here tonight in Tier 1. Am I surprised? Not at all. We saw that quality pace on a banker, and he comes home and finishes off the race as a winner. Bob's getting driver of the day from the game. I've got to give it to Rich Sebi. One of the most unreal defensive drives I've ever seen. That was ridiculous how he held off Yellow Snowman for so long. I'm sure Snowman is going to give him the GGs in chat, but he is going to be pissed. He's going to be stoked because he finally got through, but he's going to be like, wow, that was impossible. Great job to Xylo for the win. Second place going to Giants fan, who may have been muddled up in a bit of controversy from an incident. Third place goes to Yellow Snowman. 4th to Rich Sebi. 5th to Blink. 6th to Bops. Great drive from him as well. 7th to Stig. 8th to Santiago. 9th to Braided. And 10th to Gary. Outside of the top 10 in the points is Estenba, Zeech, Toast, Speedy Goose, finishing. Jack Ledford, Sketchy Bull, Minico, King Kirk, Calm, not finishing. Jack Ledford, sorry, he did finish, but he finished last. Wow, and Santiago says that the weather was inaccurate, which is correct. It was inaccurate. It said it was going to be wet, but it ended up having a lot of, most of that race ended up being dry condition. So very unfortunate for those that decided to pick the wet setups. Those that decided to pick the dry setups, it ended up working out for them. Obviously, the main person who really picked the dry setup was obviously Rich Sebi, with the lowest downforce I think I saw all night on track today. It was honestly a battle, you know. Rich Sebi's battle was just getting out of the rain. Once he got it out of the rain, he was going to be fine. And getting that wing damage, he made it work. Amazing. Xylo, Giants fan, and Yellow Snowman, if you guys are here, jump into the box. Xylo, Giants, Yellow. Boom. Let's see if my friends can jump in the box. We got one. We'll see who else we can get up into the box tonight. Insane. Seriously, absolutely unreal racing. That was really nuts. What was your guys, those guys that are in chat right now, what was your guys' favorite moment of that? That was pretty crazy to me. I liked every single minute of it, obviously, but what was your favorite moment of the race tonight, guys? I would love to know what your favorite moment of the race was tonight. For me, I think it was just that crazy defense from Rich Sebi. That was unreal. We're going to go ahead and get Giants fan in here. Let's go ahead and bring our P2 finisher in for the night. Mr. Giants fan, how's it going, my man?
Not too bad. How about you?
I am doing great. What a race, man. P2, great job.
Thank you.
I want to talk to you about some little moments for that race. You obviously ended up finishing, P2 with quite a comfortable margin. I don't know if you saw what was going on behind you because it was way far back, but Rich Sebi was defending for his life.
I saw that.
Red wing damage.
They were pretty close back there, and they were just losing loads of time every lap.
Yep, Sebi was actually running on red wing damage, and he was still defending successfully.
Wow.
It was absolutely unreal. Probably one of the best defensive drives I've ever seen in my life. But for you, you were on offense. You know, you had a bit of a mediocre. Like, it was a good qualifying. Don't get me wrong, but I know you felt like you probably could have gotten pole. And then that launch, you went down from 2nd to 4th. I want to say, am I correct?
Yeah, the rain does not suit me at all, and neither does Miami. So I was all about surviving there the first couple laps until it dried up. And then once it dried up, I was able to find a bit more pace.
Yeah. Man, I mean, I think once it did get dried up, that was very quick. Now, there was a little bit of a moment where you, Sketchy Bull, and Minico were just fighting. And I saw a collision. I'm not 100% sure exactly what happened, but I saw then Minico, I think, turned around and that caught up Sketchy Bull, and you somehow found a way to get through. Could you walk me through exactly what happened there?
So, let's see. We were all battling coming out of the last corner, going down that front straight, and I think it was Sketchy Bull was the lead car, Minico second, I was third. And Sketchy Bull obviously didn't have DRS, so both myself and Minico were attacking on him.
Yep.
I backed out of it going into turn 1. Minico sent it up the inside. They ran wide a little bit, and in turn 2 they kind of started bumping each other and got checked up, and then I had nowhere to go, and I went right into the back of Minico, and
dang,
that was that.
Yep, I had a feeling that was something like that. It was just kind of one of those things where just wrong place, wrong time. It looked pretty intense.
Right.
I mean, the battle all the way up until that point was awesome. So great racecraft all the way up until that point, man. That was awesome. And great way to
thank you.
Get some good points. Now this will put you in a pretty solid spot in the championship. I think that section might put you in the lead now.
I believe so.
Because the top 4 were all separated by 2 points going into this round, and you were one of those top 4, and the other 3 were nowhere near you. So Xylo, though, will be pretty close with you, though, I want to say.
I was say him and I are probably going to have another good championship battle here this season.
It's going to be. I feel like. Yeah, there's definitely a shot at it. Now, I honestly don't think it's going to be a runaway. You know, I think that you guys are going to have to fight from start to finish.
I agree.
And I'm excited to see how it goes. I'll go ahead and let you go, but man, thanks for jumping in here, and I can't wait to see you. I won't be here next week, but the week after, I'm excited.
All right, sounds good. Thank you.
See you later.
Yeah.
Well, hello, Mr. Snowman.
Well, it's my turn. Hold on.
It is, absolutely. We always get the winner last. So I gotta get you in here. Yes! Got the vids! Hello!
Yes.
What a podium!
Oh my god.
How are you feeling with a voice that's getting crackier than a literal Ritz cracker? And and just, yeah, you had a lot of work to do today. Tell me about your race, man.
Nuts. Geez, where do I start? Punted off at the beginning of the race, starting at 18th, the wets, and then slowly just trusting my strategy with the hard tire to go to the end. I was nursing it. I was surprised no one else got a puncture or anything. But yeah, those last, I don't know, 11, 12 laps, whatever they were, that was too much to manage. That was crazy.
11 laps caught behind a car that had wing damage. I had a feeling you were getting so frustrated, but at the same time, it was fair battling on his end. Like, he was definitely he was entitled to the line, and you were super respectful about getting him. You know, you're right. You know, he's entitled to the line in those corners. But the hardest part was as soon as you get past him, like out of turn 6 and into 7, like onto that first DRS straight, his straight line speed was unmatched.
Yeah, he was running 0-0.
Okay,
but yeah, I was doing 15, 17 myself. That was
that
crazy.
makes sense.
But yeah, I knew that I had to get him at that curve like well before the DRS straight happened.
Yeah.
So eventually I was like, okay. I tried like 3-4 different combinations of what I could do. None of them worked. I'm like, okay, let's try this last one. I'll go on the outside, and it worked. So.
And that one, when it worked, I don't know if you happened to notice, but he actually lost it a little bit too.
Yeah, I mean, you could only fight it for so long.
Yeah, right.
Yes, I was like, at some point he's gonna make a mistake. He just never did. It was crazy.
He did it until literally 2 laps to the end, and then he finally makes a mistake. Yeah, it was crazy, and then he still ended up holding out P4, which is crazy.
Yeah. And then I noticed, like, as I got past him, like, I have Sketchy Ball in my ear. He's like, "There's another person behind you. Be careful." I'm like, "What?" I'm like, "What?" And like Santiago's behind me, like, "Oh crap!" And I noticed he had 9 seconds of penalties. I'm like, "Okay, well, let him cross. I don't care. Just give me the TRS. Get me home. I'm not doing anything."
Yeah, that was very smart. Just let him through. Yeah. Well, hey man, I'm gonna go ahead and let you go, but That was an amazingly fun race. I had a blast commentating tonight. That was
man,
it was
that
all
was
because of you
something.
guys
So-
fighting it so hard for those 11 laps. That was great.
I hope you guys enjoyed.
We definitely did. I could see you're sweating.
Yeah, I need water.
Well, good luck for no assists.
Yeah, same to you, man.
Thanks, man. Later, skater.
Thanks.
Alrighty, and let's go ahead and get a race winner. Mr. Xylo, congratulations on your race win. How are you feeling?
Sweaty.
Yep.
That's all I can say.
Yep, I can
Tier one.
imagine. Your
Yeah,
win
that-
was ridiculously dominant. So much so that you had no idea what was going on behind you, I'm sure. Did you have anybody in your ear telling you what was happening behind you, or were you just kind of cruising, having a good time?
It's kind of cruising, but I had a second monitor. I was looking at the stream. I could just see everything unfold. I found it very funny, though. Very amusing.
Well,
But,
of course it's amusing. You're way up in front of it. You just get to watch it as a spectator. Oh, yeah. That was pretty nuts. I think that definitely helped you out, too, because there was really nobody that even had a shot at challenging you because of how much they had to battle just to survive. Even then, though, I mean, your pace was just unmatched tonight. Like, I don't think anybody was really going to put much challenge on you no matter what. After that qualifying run, that was your second run. That was your banker.
Yeah, it was my banker. It was my first ever lap.
Oh, my gosh.
I just did a lap.
Yeah. So that being your banker kind of showed like, oh yeah, this is going to be a dominant race tonight. And it definitely, pulled through. It was a great launch off the start in the rain too. Definitely tough to get a good launch in the rain, but you did a great job. Your rain stint was good. You ended up having a 5-second gap at the end of the rain stint. Your dry stints were great. You finished with a 10-second gap. Like it was just consistently, being better than the rest. And so it was probably one of the more dominant wins. It was extremely well deserved. And that's going to put you right in the thick of it for a championship fight. That's 25 more points, put you at around 40 points for the race. 26, I think you also got fastest lap, if I recall correctly. No, Jack did. So 25 points puts you at 40 points for the season, with Giants fan being at 50. So I think you guys are only off by about 10 points right now. So that being said, going into Portugal, how strong do you feel?
Confident. I love Portugal, I'd say, because I don't know, I've raced it a lot. I've learned the track well. I feel like I've done multiple laps around it. I'm feeling very confident for Portugal as well. I want to recreate this race in the next one.
Yeah, let's hope you do. I'm rooting for you as always. I'm always rooting for a good race, but seriously, man, that was a great race on your end. So well done. I'm gonna go ahead and let you go, and I will see you. I won't be seeing you next week, but I'll be seeing you the week after.
Yep, thank you.
See you later.
See ya.
Alrighty, everybody. Well, that's going to be it for the night. Thank you so much, everybody, for hanging out here with me. Of course, my name is Punju. That was an amazing race here for round 4 of Moose Racing League. Next week, we'll be at Portugal. We'll be having somebody else jump in here for Tier 1 commentators to give them lots of love when they do commentate the race for you guys next week. And the week after that, we'll be at Imola for round 6. One of my personal favorite tracks. I love that track, and I'm excited to be back for that one as well. Of course, let's go ahead and go give our no assists here some love tonight in their broadcast. As soon as you log off of this stream, go jump into the no assists tier. Even if you're lurking or if you're loving it, who cares? Just go have some fun, hang out. Until next time, all y'all keep being wonderful. Keep making the world a better place. My name is Punju, and we're out of here for Tier 1.
Alright, welcome to round 2 of the MRL No Assist Championship. I'm your host, Mog Mage, and joining me is Pat.
Hello.
And this track is showing off the track map over 5 kilometers long, 2 DRS zones, so there's plenty of opportunity for overtaking, but the amount of curves in sectors 1 and 3 can also make a vast difference. You definitely want a good balanced setup in order to make sure that your car remains stable. And of course, just getting a nice view of the track. I mean, you can see, especially in Sector 3, how proudly American this circuit is, and I kind of love it. And of course, the overview of the stadium section. This is going to be an exciting qualifying. Unfortunately, this preview is a little inaccurate, as the clouds are much more gloomy in comparison. Immediately to turn 1, Peter is going to find himself in the lead. Yellow Snowman, though, got a brilliant start, but it looks like the Alfa Romeo's got a little bit held up there.